Have you had a hard time to express tenses in Chinese? You don't know when to add le, when not to add le, where to put bu, where to put guo, or the future tense of yao or hui, or 没有 or bu, or even the word order. So in the series, you will learn everything about Chinese tenses and even to understand Chinese language at a higher level. 大家好，我是 Crazy 老师。在中国，我教英语；在美国，我教汉语。My Chinese English teachers were really good at breaking down the English grammar, which helped me a lot. Now I want to do the same for people who are learning Chinese to share the secrets of mastering Chinese grammar. 我们话不多说，这就开始吧。A lot of people are saying Chinese have no tenses, and that's a myth. What they wanted to say is there are no verb conjugations in Chinese. Well, actually, there's no conjugations at all of any kind. So how to express all these different tenses in Chinese then? Let's take a look at the overarching ideas of Chinese way to express tenses and aspects. So the most common way to express tenses in Chinese is to use time phrases. As in the example below. 昨天他很伤心. Yesterday, he was sad, very sad. 现在他很伤心. Now, he is very sad. The only difference in those two sentences are the time phrases. However, as you see in English, you'll have to conjugate the verb in order to show the tense. Okay? And then number 2 is you use aspect markers like a 了, 过, 要, 会 to show tenses. As in, 他吃了, he ate or he has eaten. Or 他吃过巧克力. He has eaten chocolate. But usually when you use 过, you're just saying, oh, before, in the past, he has eaten chocolate, but we have no idea when. Or for future, 他要来我家吃. 他要来我家吃. He's coming to my house to eat. 好. And then the third way is a combination of both. Use both time phrases and aspect markers. As in, 我将来要去中国. I am going to China in the future. Or literally, in the future, I'm going to China. Or 有一天我的中文会很好. My Chinese will be good one day. Or literally, one day, my Chinese would become really well. So now you have an idea where you use time phrases or aspect markers or the combination of both. Okay? However, not every time you're going to see the time phrases. So you have to infer the time from context. Let's take a look at this little conversation. 昨天 Crazy 没来上课. 他怎么了? So yesterday, Crazy didn't come to class. What's up with her? In this one, we're using the time phrase and then 没来, to show you didn't do something, aspect markers with verb. And then when you respond, 他跟 Chris 分手了. 分手, break up. 分手了, broke up. So you use 了 aspect markers to show the tense. And 很伤心, very sad. So in Chinese, it works as like a verb, right? So it was very sad. And how do we know it was? Because we're talking about yesterday. Now at this point, you will probably understand much better why in the Chinese sentence order, you always have to put the time first. As in English, it doesn't matter. You could put in the beginning of the sentence or often appears at the end of the sentence. Because in Chinese, when you talk, the bigger context matters much more. So I need to know the time and then the location, and then how the things happened, and eventually, what happened in this bigger context. Okay? We're not done with the tenses yet. So how do we do with the negative form of tenses? When do we use 没有? When do we use 不? Let's take a look at that. 没有 used for past tense, and then 不 used for present or future tense. But remember, just for action verbs. Let's look at them in an example. 在早上. So this is in the morning. 今天你去学校吗? Today, you go to school? Question mark? Are you going to school today? 我不去. I'm not going. I don't go. Okay, present. And then 在晚上, in the evening. 你今天去了学校吗? You today went to school? Question mark? 我没有去. I didn't go. So for past event that didn't happen, we use 没有. Okay. Also notice the difference between those two questions. 今天你去学校吗? 今天去了学校吗? Okay, so only difference is the aspect marker we have. So even you say today, right? But it could be something that already happened today or something that didn't happen yet. So that's why sometimes you need both the time phrases and then the aspect markers like 了 to help you to understand the Chinese tense. But now the question is, are all past tenses negation? We use 没有, and present, future tenses, we use 不? No, no, no. So we just talked about the action verbs. Now let's talk about the non-action verbs. What do I mean non-action verbs? Let's take a look. So for example, the verb like 是 in English, to be, or 喜欢 to like. It's not an action, right? We call them a state verb. So for a state verb, it doesn't matter when it happens. For example, for 是 so let's see. 我以前不是老师. Before, I was not a teacher. 现在不是老师. Now, I am not a teacher. 以后也不会是老师. Later, I will not be a teacher either. Okay, so in these three sentences, if you paid attention, you'll notice it's all just 不 we're using. Okay, even for the past, we didn't use 没 because it's not an action that did not happen. So we just use 不 for all of these state verbs. So for 喜欢 is the same. So now, how would you say, I didn't like vegetables? 我不喜欢吃蔬菜. But then you may need a time verb, right? Maybe 10 years ago, 我不喜欢吃蔬菜. Make sense, right? Okay, now let's take a look at one more example, like when you want to be really dramatic. Okay, 9年前我不喜欢你. 现在我不喜欢你. 以后也不喜欢你. So 9 years ago, I didn't like you. Now, I don't like you. And later, I will not like you either. So in English, you have to put, didn't like, I don't like, and I will not like. But in Chinese, as I said, it's all the same, except you do add the time phrases to show the tense. Okay? 好. Now let's see another kind of verb, or it functions as a verb. When you say, I am happy, you don't need the be, I am. You just I, happy. So all this type of adjectives, like 开心, happy, 好, good, 忙, busy, they function as a verb. Okay, but they're not exactly an action, right? So they're more like a state verb. So in this case, it's the same thing. We use 不. So this is for you. Okay, please write in the comment. How would you express the following? I was not happy yesterday. I am not busy today, and I won't be well tomorrow. Okay? Put it in the comment and see if you truly understand the Chinese tenses. So hopefully by now you have a pretty good idea to express simple, present, past, future tenses in Chinese. Okay? If you still have questions, put it in the comments. And in the future, we're going to explain more advanced tenses and aspects, such as how to express progressive. How do you say I had done something, I have done something, I have been doing something, the perfect tenses and perfect progressive tenses. If you find this video helpful, please remember to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. 我们下次见。